Action emotions. What are they and what can we do about them? That's what we're going to talk about today. So early on in my career path as a therapist, I was really trying to build and develop my private practice. I went into the story yesterday, I believe, and I talked a little bit about what I had to do to get to a place where I was working for myself and not working for somebody else. And I talked to a buddy of mine and I said, hey man, do you know any books on how to do this? Do you know any books on how to improve yourself and that kind of thing? He's like, well, Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins is the guy who you got to read or whatever. So I was like, okay, cool. I've got a 1 hour commute to work. I'll get an audiobook. I'll go ahead and get that squared away and I'll take some time and I'll go and listen to this stuff. So I got this corny little CD series called Lessons in Mastery. Now I say corny because at the time they had this cute little Casio keyboard intro to it. It was like, bah, 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 bah. And Tony Robbins starts talking. He's like, man, you just got to believe in yourself. You got to go out there and you got to do these things. And, he started talking about the 10 action emotions. And so I'm like, oh, 10 action emotions. This is fascinating. Literally, this is the first CD. I actually have the first CD. I'm surprised it's not scarred, like scratched up to death. And this thing talks about 10 action emotions. So the 10 action emotions that we have to look at here are hurt, overwhelmed, frustrated, fearful, angry, guilty, unappreciated, inadequate, lonely, and defeated. How do you know those 10 action emotions off the top of your head, Jim? Well, I had to create an acronym because I'm a big acronym guy. And the acronym I created is HOFFA-GILD. That's right, HOFFA-GILD. Has nothing to do with Jimmy Hoffa, but it's the best I could come up with at the moment. If you have a better acronym for those 10 action emotions, go ahead and pop that in the comments. But you have to rewind the video and go through them, or just kind of look it up on the internet and find out what Tony Robbins' action emotions are. And so these things really hit home for me, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. I have to identify what my emotions are so I can work on changing them. And so, well, what does this have to do with your Men at Work series, Jim? Well, a lot of times men have no idea what emotions they're feeling. Okay, I will often make the joke that men have 3 emotions: anger, laughter at somebody else's expense, and nothing. Okay, literally everything is under the umbrella of anger. If you're fearful, angry. If you're frustrated, angry. If you're feeling guilty or whatever, angry. It's all anger. And so part of this for me was really good because I was able to kind of identify what emotions I was feeling, and I'd be able to share them with my wife. She's like, you're angry. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm feeling a little defeated. I'm feeling a little bit like I'm inadequate. I'm feeling like I'm not doing enough, or I'm not able to kind of do the things I need to do. And so part of this, I would encourage you to kind of look at those 10 action emotions. And I would say, if you are running into some negative emotional content about yourself, about your marriage, what have you, start looking into those. Start trying to understand how you're feeling. Because if you don't understand how you're feeling, and you're having difficulty understanding that, it's going to be really tough for you to try and implement any kind of plan. And it's especially bad when you feel like crap. When you feel these negative emotions, you don't want to do anything. You want to do what feels good, right? Well, that's not how self-improvement works, okay? If you just do what feels good, great. You've either wasted time, okay, or you've, spent a lot of time doing something and maybe you do feel better, but nothing's changed. Nothing's improved. You're not getting anything done, okay? So people often say, oh, you got to man up and just figure it out, And that's all well and good, okay? I'm perfect. I'm a big fan of resiliency. I'm a big fan of going out there and doing what you have to do. But at the same time, understanding the emotional state that you're feeling so you can implement the plan that you want to change is important. I didn't feel like I could kind of end off this series without kind of going into that emotional component. Because it's one thing to tell guys, you just got to go out there and you got to do stuff and you got to work hard and just keep working hard and keep at it and don't worry about your emotions because that's sissy stuff. No, you got to figure that out. All right, be okay with the emotions, embrace them, understand how you feel them, okay? Because sometimes we just don't know how we're feeling those emotions. We don't know what emotions we're feeling. Most of the time, guys I talk to, not even kidding, they're like, I didn't even know I felt this emotion, and I didn't even know I could feel it. And I'm like, yeah, it's there. You got tear ducts for a reason, man. There's nothing wrong with feeling sad. It happens, okay? So, and a lot of guys I run into, a lot of them are feeling depressed. Depression is kind of the common theme. Okay, so if you are feeling those emotions, Like, identify that. Like, go. I'm not going to take any credit for Tony Robbins' stuff. Go ahead and look at his 10 action motions. There's a video out there of him talking about it or something like that. But get into that sort of idea of understanding your emotions so that you can, once you are in a way where you're strategizing and working through them, not saying I don't want to feel these emotions ever again. That's silly. That's not how this works. All right, you're gonna feel those emotions at some point. It's gonna happen. All right. So like prepare yourself for that. Say, all right, you know what? I'm gonna feel these emotions. It's gonna happen. I just need to prepare for them. So when they do show up, I can do something about it. The reason why he calls them action emotions is because it's a clue to your subconscious that something needs to change. Okay. So, and don't get me wrong, I think that's fantastic. And I think it's certainly helped me kind of make steps towards improvement because I've said, oh, I'm feeling inadequate about something. Oh, I'm feeling defeated. Like, I'm feeling this feeling because something's not right. I have to do something different. I have to make a change. Okay. So that's ultimately what I'm trying to encourage you to do here is identify those emotions. Again, I'm going to go over them. Get your pen and paper ready. Hurt, overwhelmed, frustrated, fearful, angry, guilty, unappreciated, inadequate, lonely, and defeated. Understand which of those emotions that you're feeling. And once you do that, you can implement a strategy toward managing those feelings and sort of getting to a place where you can actually start implementing the things that you want to improve on. Anyways, I'm Jim Valeri. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. Tomorrow I'm going to be reviewing 5 Minute Marvel, which is a variation of 5 Minute Dungeon. It's a phenomenal game, and hopefully you will join me for that. Take care, folks. Have a fantastic day.